everybody, Mickey here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So this, or what we're doing today, is a bit of a pocket dump. However, this isn't just one pocket dump. What I've done, I've emptied out most of my pockets from 3 smocks and 1 ghillie, the things that I carry on a regular basis for different environments, different habitats, whether it's hello bushcraft Sussex, whether it's going up the town or going up in the woods. And basically this is a bit of a nod to a friend of mine. You'll notice the format, Bushcraft Rebooted. Okay, he did a fantastic live the other day, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and he did it in pretty much the same format. And what interested me was he carries a lot of the same kit that I do in his pockets on a regular basis. So I decided to dump out all my pockets and literally go, right, Mickey, what do you carry? What do you have with you on a regular basis? What is nearly always in your pockets in the various smocks? Now, this, because I'm in the UK, varies depending on what I'm doing, the conditions, where I'm going, and so on. But as you see, the format is fairly generic, and I'm doing this really because I want to see if that format is generic worldwide. Does everybody do the same sort of thing? Does everybody carry the same sort of thing? So I thought, how do I do this? And originally I thought just do a video, and then I thought no, do it as a live. My lives seem to be getting a bit of interest just lately, and gives people a chance to interact. It gives me a chance to see the comments. So as you see today, you can't see Mickey. Well, you can see Mickey's knees. It's about it. But again, the emphasis is on the gear. What do I carry on a regular basis? What do I have with me? Now, the idea being, ask me questions. Ask me to show you things. Let's get a bit of a conversation going here. Let's see what you carry in your kit, what you carry in your gear, what do you have out with you. And now we're a few minutes into the video. I shall uncover a couple of items because I was warned that YouTube can get a little bit twitchy about certain things that you may be able to see on a video. If there's more of the kit that I carry on a regular basis, give me a shout if you want a quick look at it. But this is really pocket dumps. What sort of gear do you have in your pocket? Hi, Owen. Mate, it doesn't, Owen, let's face it doesn't make you feel inadequate. At the end of the day, doesn't matter what you have in pockets. The most important thing you carry with you is what you've got in your brain, in your head. Oh yeah, mate. It's that ability to adapt to your environment, your situation. Now I do a lot of instructing, and I go out a lot teaching and training other people, and have done over the years. So again, it's what do I carry in my pockets? What do I have with me? How does it break down for me? What things do I have with me that I think are handy to have? And a lot of it is also knickknacks, little gadgets, little bits of kit. Something I've figured out that's essential for me to carry in the modern day with modern phones in my wallet. Okay, and we've always got our wallets with us, as I carry one of these little Android phone tool just in case I need to change an SD card. These are brilliant for swapping out SD cards and things like GoPros, SD cards in my Android phone, swapping out SIM cards, things like that. So again, I carry one of those. Got the little reset button on it there as well. So it's one of those bits of kit, isn't it? Yep. Battery charger. Yep. It's something I've not put down on here because I don't have a small one. So I don't. If I'm going out with a backpack, I tend to carry a power bank with me. What I tend to carry, this is more about pockets, what I have in the pockets. And again, this looks massive because this is, I actually shocked myself. I went through 3 smocks, one what I call a field ghillie with the multiple pockets, pulled it all out, dumped it all on the table. So again, you'll see repetitions of things here. but again, not all of them do I carry in the same environment. So let's go through what I carry. Let's have a chat about it and talk about how it works. And you see there's a key ring there, and it's a large key ring on a carabiner. So that tends to be clipped onto my car keys. So what do I normally carry on that? Well, I carry that with me, Swiss Army knife. That goes, hiya, Jason. How you doing, mate? Hope you're all good. I'm all good, mate. Um, so I tend to carry that everywhere with me these days. I used to carry the Leatherman. Um, I used to have that with me all the time, but the problem being with the Leatherman, it was quite weighty, along with the phone and that, stuck in one pocket on one side. I couldn't figure it out first. I was starting to get pain when I was walking on one side, and with Owen's help, managed to figure out what I was actually doing. Was I was carrying literally 2 pounds of weight on one side of my body everywhere I went. By the time I'd stuck my first aid kit in my hip pocket, stuck my Leatherman on my hip, stuck my phone in my pocket, it was all, hiya Bob, how you doing, mate? Hope you're good. TJ, hey TJ. Um, it was all on the right hand side, and the problem with that was it was all weight on the right hand side because I'm predominantly right handed. I am one of these clumsy people where my left hand is, I say useless. It's good for gripping and holding things. That's all I've ever done with it. My right hand is my dexterous hand, so it tends to be that side that I go to things for. So I wanted to limit the weight on the right hand side. So I stopped carrying the Leatherman, and again, it meant that I could put the locks back on the Leatherman, so that really that is an outdoors piece of kit that now goes on my pocket. If I'm going up the woods, going camping, can justify carrying it. But for everyday use, wandering around, going up town, going shopping, just having with me for all those moments where you think, I'd like to have a little penknife with me, I've gone for the Swiss Army knife, and I've gone for a lighter model. Okay. I didn't need 10,000 items with it. I needed, really, for me, pair of scissors was the big thing. The toothpick and the tweezers are handy. They come in handy for all sorts of little jobs. Two little blades, not massive blades, but they do all the jobs I need them to do, and I keep them separate. So the small blade here I tend to use more for what I call food tasks. Okay, and the larger blade is my general knife. So I can keep two different edges on that. I can keep a finer edge on the smaller blade for peeling apples, might be doing food prep, that sort of thing. The bigger blade, yeah, has a slightly coarser edge, cutting canvas, cutting ropes, and things like that. And again, I find a coarse edge works better for that. It's a good little bit of kit, and that tends to live more often than not on the key ring. So again, that can, I know that's out of shot, do apologise. So that will go on that. Goes on the key ring with my car keys, my house keys, whatever I'm carrying goes with me wherever I go. And gear that goes with that goes with the same adaptive ideology. Okay. If I'm going rural, then I might put a fire lighting system on that. So and that can be whatever I'm applying to it. One of the things I do tend to carry on that key ring is one of these, which is seatbelt cutter and window breaker. Now, they're dirt cheap on Amazon, but in actual fact, Caroline bought me a couple to try. They're cheap plastic. They're dirt cheap to buy, but they actually work very, very well. Guaranteed to pop the window, and the seatbelt cutter works efficiently. So again, that tends to go on the key ring set with my car keys, so that I have that with me. Purely and simply, that gives me a knife and an egress system for either pulling somebody out of a vehicle if I need to, whether it be to render first aid or because they've been naughty and they need to be pulled out of the car, removing seatbelts and so forth like that, or getting myself out of the car in an emergency. One of the issues with modern cars, all this central locking electronics, is power goes down or you end up in water. Quite often these systems can work against you. So just being able to pop a window is a bonus. Have I had to use it in anger yet? No, I have tried it. Here's a tip for you. Go to the scrapyard, tell them you've bought one of them, tell them you want to try it out. Right? They'll charge you a £5. They will take you to a car that they're about to crush, charge you a £5 and say, there you go, mate. You know, test it on your windows, test it on the seat belts, because it's all going through the shredder anyhow. Test it, give it a try, see how it works. Does it work in the center of the window? Does it have to go in a corner? Does it cut the seat belts? Are you happy with it? When you know it works, yeah, take it away. Take it away, stick it in your kit. Okay. Same thing with this. This pen. Okay, it's a tungsten pen. They've got a Parker style insert, works really, really well, really happy with it. But it's got a window breaker there. I did the same thing with that. In fact, I did it on the same day, took them both down the scrapyard, held that in my hand there, gave it a go on the window, and figured out that that needs to work. If it's going to work, corner of the window. Okay. So again, try these things out. You'll be surprised. Your local scrapyard, he's shredding and crushing cars every day. They want to make money. Yeah, charge you a £5 to break a window on something that's about to get smashed up anyhow. No problem. They might look at you like you're a bit of an idiot, but it gives you a bit of confidence in your kit and your gear. And it means that you know it's going to work when you need it to. Let's have a look at the comments. Let's go through the comments. So, hi Owen, hi Jason. How you doing, brother? It's early morning over there. The mouse, oh yeah, well the mouse is just a pet. Keeps me company when I'm out and about. Bob, hiya mate. Hope you're good. TJ, love to see you, mate. Bushcraft Sussex, hello mate. Yeah. And again, as with all my lives, if you guys decide you want to chat amongst yourselves, do you so. Maximus Smith, hey mate, hope you're good. Hope you're absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I love that fire kit you give me. So again, this is a pocket dump. So how does it break down? Well, pretty much as you see, it's basics. It's lights, knives, lights, fire lighting, hand sterilizing, bits and pieces like that. And again, there are many variations on a theme here. So out of all the SMOCKS, I was grabbing literally everything out of pockets, and in a lot of cases, they are the idea being that they'll go on a Wally cord that I can clip into a pocket and not lose the kit, especially in the SMOCKS. Old squaddy tip there is literally being able to knock things onto a line, so if you drop it, you don't lose it. And again, so I wear glasses and sticks outdoors. We were having a bit of a giggle with my pith helmet, and he sent me this with a little monocular. And it's turned out that actually, do you know what? That is one of the best bits of kit I've got in my pocket, because it's a monocular magnifying glass. It's 5 times, but I can use it to replace my glasses. If I lose my glasses and I need to read something, see something small print, go through a map, light a fire, it's got lots of different uses. Seeing splinters, removing splinters, thorns, checking injuries, things like that. It's an absolutely brilliant bit of kit. And again, multiple use for something that was a couple of quid off of, I think it was Amazon or somewhere like that. It's absolutely brilliant. Bob carries toilet paper everywhere he goes. Good man. Yeah, go with that. There's no rights or wrongs in any of this, and it's going to be interesting to see what people carry that I don't. So one of the things that's come to light doing the MRE meals was I was quite interested in the amount of toilet paper that you got in the American ration packs compared to the British ration packs. In the British ration packs, and I've got some around here, I'll dig it out for the next video, but we get a pack about long, and it's a pack of the Toffley tissues. So basically, you've got a really good supply of tissues from wiping your hands down, blowing your nose and wiping your face, and doing the obvious job when you need to. Yeah, it is important. You don't always want to have to go to your hanky. So there's another bit of kit that really should always be in your pocket, especially if you're a gentleman. A hanky, just a hanky can be used for so many things, from emergency wound dressing or packing, obviously blowing your nose on, wiping your bottom in an emergency. You know, we've all at some point or other been caught out. When you combine that with a bit of hand sanitizer, it will sting. But yeah, you can clean a wound, clean yourself, look after yourself, make sure that you're good. Um, Now, a lot of this gear isn't based on long-term survival, although I put with my long-term survival kit gives me knickknacks, bits and pieces, and go with. Now, I don't always carry things like that with me, but if I'm going up the woods and I'm doing a survival course, quite often that will go in a pocket because, again, it's small, it's slim, it sticks away. I might not want to be carrying a big bushcraft knife with me. I might just want a small blade that's sufficient for cutting, slicing, looking after kit. So I will carry that with me. Um, and it's one I've made myself out of a bit of tool steel. It's not hard to do. A lot of you could do this yourselves without heat treating, just using a grinder. Buy yourself a piece of tool steel and have a good quality file, and you can produce yourself something like that very, very easily. Um, I have heat treated it, but you don't need to. You don't. It's not a set requirement, so you can build things like that. Other things that I carry on a regular basis that I think are important, and have helped me out a lot of the time. Like that's a lip balm, Burt's Bees. I can recommend that one to anybody. That is um, just beeswax. Okay, it's hypoallergenic. That's a honey one. Um, it's absolutely brilliant for treating chapped lips and things like that. But also, it's a fire lighter. It can help as an accelerant. It can help with windburn. If you're somewhere where you're starting to get windburn on your cheeks or your hands, a little bit of that rubbed on will give the body protection. It helps to keep the moisture in there and keep it sorted out. Um, if you're unfortunate enough to be somewhere and end up with a bit of jungle itch, um, or jungle rash, that is a great emergency go-to for helping you sort that out. You know, it's at the end of the day, you can warm the beeswax in your hand and use it as a salve to stop rubbing, chafing, or however you want to pronounce it. It's a brilliant bit of kit. Brilliant. Kitten, hiya, mate. How you doing? Excellent. Good to see you. Elusive out Dartmoor. Hi, mate. Hope you're good. Yes, so that's the yeah, Burt's Bees. You can get that online. I've used it for donkey's years. Recommend it to anybody, and it's supporting a little guy that is a beekeeper. Yeah, keeping him equipped, keeping him going. Chem lights, yeah, Maximus, yeah, Chem lights, absolutely brilliant bit of kit. The old Silum, um, yeah, always worth having a couple of these in your gear. They do have expiry dates on them, but I've had these 5-10 years after their expiry date, and they've still worked when I've needed them. They are a good bit of kit. They do come in multiple colours, and they also come in different lifespans depending on the colour, and that's usually on the back here. So this is a blue one, so this is quite an intense one, and this is a blue one, 6 hour. Sorry, tells you on here. One light stick, 10 mm, 10 mils of fluid. Boom, 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 boom. Where is it? Does tell you on here. I know it tells me on here. 6-inch Silum. 8 hour. 8 hour. So that's 8 hour at full intensity. But although it says 8 hours of full intensity, I've had these 3-4 days later still glowing in or on ops round areas. I used to use them as range markers. So basically, you could set these out at distance, position it so that you could see it, but nobody else could see it. And then at the end of the day, it would just give me a little glowing dot in the distance. So if somebody was moving in an area, it gave me a reference point to how far away they were. But again, marking casualties, marking things around your camp, trip hazards, guy lines, things like that. Holes. You know, how often have you been out in the woods and that you're setting up your camp, it's getting dark, there's a stump or something like that, it's a trip hazard. You can mark it off with the siloon there, and if you're there for 3 or 4 days, it's going to give you continuous light, and in the dark, you're always going to be able to see it. Okay, great piece of equipment, and definitely well worth the money that they cost. I know they're not cheap, and even if you don't go for the 6-inch tactical style like that, you can buy the little 2-inch fishing ones that are designed to go on top of your fishing floats. Quite cheap. You can buy a pack of those dirt cheap. I think the last pack I bought was 10 or 15, and it cost me 3 or 4 quid. Just as efficient, a little glowing dot in the distance. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant. Yep. Yeah, falling into foxholes. Yeah, exactly that. And just being able to mark those problem areas. Obviously, in my kits again, I've got my first aid kit. Now that's usually in a pocket somewhere. I like to carry that on my person, or it might just clip to my belt. Simple, basic first aid kit, purely for emergencies. Do excuse my camera focus, I do apologise. I set it up to automatic because it seemed to work better. So 1-inch duct tape, yeah, that sorts out all my owies, cuts and so on. I've been through these 100 times before. Cat tourniquet, control the bleeding if I need it. One large Israeli dressing, already stripped out of the packaging, ready to go. A simple dressing that you can put the tape over to bond it to a wound, seal the wound, and at the bottom, a couple of burns gels, because we've all done it. It's me especially. I've even done it on video for you guys. It's one of those things, and having a burns gel with you makes all the difference between spending 3 or 4 days up the woods not being able to use your hand or your fingers and screaming in agony every time you bend them, or not. So again, it is, my IFAK is a simple treat emergencies only kit. Anything further than that, I'm going to be doing when I get home. And again, mark it as a first aid kit. People going to you if you're unconscious or find you, know there's a first aid kit there. I've got my blood group on it. Yeah. Now, marking blood groups. So if you've got your blood group marked on you, it gives them a guide. But I will tell you now, in a lot of cases, they will not, right, they won't look at that, run me to hospital if I'm unconscious and go, we got this bloke here, he's obviously O plus, right, or O positive, purely and simply because that might be somebody else's first aid kit. However, it gives them that little bit of information, and if I'm conscious, I can say to them, yeah, I'm O positive, not a problem at all. It's always worth knowing your blood group, always worth knowing it. Invariably, they're just going to give you standardized liquids anyhow. Do excuse me. And my drink of choice today is Iron Brew. All right, that I'm drinking in salute to all my friends in Scotland that have been in the red warning zone. Yeah, that's for you guys. Yeah, flavoured condoms. Yeah, I don't find that they flavour the water for me though. So getting back into knives, yeah. So I also carry in some of my kits the Lansky World Legal. Very, very good little knife. Very, very efficient. Very well designed as a rescue knife. Works well on ropes. Works well on most jobs, and is sturdy enough to punch open tins and things like that if I need it to. And again, it's a chunk of a knife. It's a good sturdy knife. It has no lock, okay, which is a bit of a bonus. It means it's not fiddly to have to close up and all the rest of it. Does all the jobs I need it to do. That sat alongside the Swiss Army knife. Yeah, it's efficient and sturdy. If I was going to keep it as a survival tool, I'd probably file that out there so that I could use that on a ferro rod as well. However, I've got ferro rods and I'm usually carrying multiple fire lighting systems with me. Even when I'm just going up the town or going for a walk, I will be carrying something like that, which I've recently picked up. Kaz got for me. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit, and it is just a little simple non-fuel required electronic lighter. But the bonus for this one, it's got a very good torch in it. The first setting on the torch is a low light setting. Second is a strobe. Third is the high setting. That I really liked. That's well thought out. Lowest setting first. You know, at the end of the day, it's only going to have it's got a 2-hour run time on its low setting, but it gives me enough light to see, to walk by, to signal by, to indicate to people. And again, it's not going to be something I'm going to run for long periods of time. Quite often, I find personally, if I'm out in the woods and that, I don't need a light. If I allow my eyes to adapt to the dark, I can manage to get round. And if it's that bad, I only need a very low light just to increase my ability to see. It's one of the things I get into these days when I'm teaching people, as I point out to them, it's fine to have a super powerful torch. Okay. For search and rescue, for finding details, for working on cars and that, a powerful torch is brilliant, but the more powerful the torch, the faster you burn through the light, the faster those batteries go down. If you can get a torch, something like the Nebo, which has got a very high energy setting and will give you an immense amount of light, but also has a very low setting, use it on the low setting. Okay, for 99% of what you're going to do. And this little torch here on its lowest setting gives me about 8 hours. So again, great little bit of torch. If I put it on its highest setting, it gives me about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so again, you've got to adapt it. And I like the Nebo because it clips onto a hat peak nicely, will double up as a head torch. Yeah, and it's a great backup bit of kit, and it's only small. Magnetic charger. Bonus and downside, it means I can't just swap batteries out in it, but it does the job. Also talking about torches, I've recently taken to picking up these from the pound shop. This I must give a nod to my mate Life's a Hobby when he's up in the hills. We were talking about it, and he was saying that having a red flashing light on the back of your pack or the back of your gear means that if you go down, you collapse, you get lost, something happens, you've got a signaling system. Now these are designed for bicycles, and I can put it onto a flashing strobing system. It's waterproof and it will last for hours. Or if I'm moving around and I don't want to knacker my night vision, I can just put it on its simple red setting and will give me enough light to move by without ruining my night vision. And it's an absolutely brilliant bit of kit. And again, I bought that for it was in the pound shop, bought it for £1. I got a white one and a red one. The white one I've given to Caroline. That's actually gone on the handlebars of a scooter as a backup light for that, so that if she needs a backup light, it's always there with her. And again, the silicone attachment, fantastic. It will go onto anything. I've even sat there and realised these will just clip around your finger, so your hands are free. You can do what you wanted. You're not going to lose it, drop it. If you're trying to do something else or you're moving through the woods in the dark, by clipping it on like a ring like that, I can see where I'm going. But if I trip and fall, I've not lost it, not dropped it in the undergrowth. It's not gone away from me or anything like that. It's there where you need it. And again, why not? They're cheap, they're efficient, they're simple. One of the big issues with all of us when we get out into the woods isn't when it goes right, it's what do you do when it goes wrong. It's how are you equipped to deal with a problem if it occurs. And again, I'll always say gear is not the essential thing. Mindset, knowledge, that's the important thing. Coming off of that, red torches, I've carried one of these for donkey's years, and it normally lives near my med kit. and that is just a simple anodized red torch. Okay, it's only a little one, but it gives me enough light to see what I need to do moving around. It backs that up, but it also means when dealing with a casualty or a situation, it's something small enough to put into my mouth. I can see what I'm doing again without ruining my night vision. So if I'm dealing with you because you've gone over and broken your ankle in the woods, I'd use the red torch if it's night time to see what I'm doing, which is more than adequate. Again, doesn't ruin your night vision, doesn't ruin my night vision, because I might need to leave you with this to make you feel comfortable and walk 2 or 3 miles to get help. Yeah. So that's torch. In fact, actually put the torches together, Nick. Put the torches together. On top of that, backup and reserve torches. So cigarette lighters. Cigarette lighter is always my first go-to for fire lighting. I've got a cigarette lighter there, but I like to back it up in the first aid kit, or my emergency kit. My woodland kit carries one of these in it, and this is just a cheap, simple lighter from the pound shop. But the bonus with these, the reason I like these, they've got a little LED torch on them. Okay, it's not got an immense runtime, but it's a great little backup for those moments when you just need a quick bit of white light to see something, do check on something. If all your other torches went down, went away, you got that. And I would keep that back purely, really, as an emergency signaling system, because it is a superbly bright little LED. It will be seen for miles. Absolutely brilliant. OS maps, always OS maps. Love an OS map. Okay, so that's, again, goes alongside there. Firelighting, we're always talking about your first tool. It's always going to be a lighter. It's quick, it's efficient, it's easy. But we also, when we go into the woods, we like to practice with other kit. I don't do too many videos where I use a cigarette lighter, although I do show it at times. But I like ferrocerium rods. I like practicing making a fire using simple skills and techniques. Now, that is a survival tool. That is the sort of thing, if I'm going away into the jungle, I'm going out into a wilderness environment, I'm taking that because it will last for years. It will do me for days and days and days. It doesn't require much in the way of anything other than my own skill set to use. Doesn't need fuel, doesn't need gas. So that's sat alongside that. That's my primary fire lighting. That's my backup fire lighting. Or if the conditions are really bad, I can use the shavings off the fat wood, the cigarette lighter, for ease, and get my fire going. Likewise, for a lot of my camps, you see me use this one. And again, just as good. Forest Fundamentals, both of those. I'm not going to sell it for them because you can dive over to their site and there'll be plenty of videos on them. But these jute twine or wax impregnated jute twine matches are fantastic, especially if you're around the camp and sometimes you want something you can light and actually spend a minute or so applying a flame to something, or going around lighting various lanterns and that. It's an old method, isn't it? It's an old method of match. It's quite simple to use. It's very effective. It doesn't let you down. It's a bit traditional. Great for your bushcrafting videos. Okay, but also has a practical use because, yeah, it's there, it's going to work, and it's not going to let you down. So they're good bits of kit. Love them intensely. In one of my pockets, I got, well, I'll be honest with you, I found it the other day. It had disappeared into the bottom of a drawer, which really infuriated me because I kept looking for it, going, I've got one here, I don't want to buy another one. But a simple monocular, okay, just a simple monocular. Okay, it's a great bit of kit. This brings 1,000 meters down to 700 meters. Okay, I'm not going to be looking 1,000 meters for it more often than not with it. I'm scanning bushes, I'm scanning tree lines, I'm looking for wildlife. I might be looking for deer and things like that, how they're moving. I might be watching somebody that's moving, wondering what they're up to. invariably I'm looking personally maximum about 500 meters. Okay, it's a great way of being able to also scan the environment around you. If you're looking for a track, a path, a direction, an opening in a wood, being able to sit off about 500 meters and just scan the hillside and go, that's the path there, or no, I'm not going to get through there, saves you a walk into the distance and wandering up and down. And sometimes looking for details, you're better off standing back. If you were looking at entering, say, a very dense woodland, when you're up against that woodland, you can only see the 20 meters either side of you indeed, and you can see it in detail, but you can only see those 40 meters. When you're sat back at 200 or 300 meters with something like that, you can scan right down that whole tree line and look for potential openings, which means you can then walk up to them rather than walking up and down the tree line going, oh, it's a fence here. Where do I get through the fence? Where's the stile? So again, quite often part of your nav system is going to be using your map, check your map. Once you've checked your map, go to your monocular, scan the next section of your route, double check in your mind, is that right? Where's the bridge that crosses the little stream? Where's the stile that crosses the hedge line? Back to your map, check your map, and confirm it on that. Okay. You watch all the old movies and that, and you've got the commander out there and he's got his binos out. Why has he got his binos out? He's confirming the route. He's checking the route. He's not just looking for the enemy. He's making sure that what he's looked at on the map is what he's looking at ahead of him, so that he is 100% definitely sure of where he's going. So that's a good bit of kit. Emergency whistles. Right, I've always got round my neck, got it on today because I've been out for a walk. I've always got my emergency whistle round my neck. I've got a small penknife on there, a little beta light on there. Those I can recommend to anybody. Brilliant survival kit. Buy a pack of 10 of those for a tenner on Amazon. Absolutely brilliant. That one's been round my neck for 2 years now. It's still as powerful and as bright as the day I put it on there and works. T, hello mate, excellent. And that emergency whistle, yeah, brilliant bit of kit. Not just for wilderness survival situations. It's quite funny how you can be in a town centre and something's going on. You want to attract attention, make people stop. You blow on a whistle loud. Yeah. Yeah, TJ, right. So it is legal if you read the law correctly, okay, and it's written, if you look on the Home Office website, it is not illegal for you to have a locking bladed knife as long as you can justify the reason for having it. So you can even carry a sheath knife, right? You can have whatever you want with you as long as you can justify the reason for having it. So a lot of us carry a bushcraft knife. Why? Because we're doing bushcraft skills. Okay. Yes, you can transport it to and from where you're doing those bushcraft skills, as long as you're not carrying it readily to hand. So just throwing it out there for justice sake, if I was to go at the moment to my woods to run a course for somebody, I would have my backpack with all my gear in it and I would get the bus there. It is legal for me to carry a fixed blade with me to there because I'm going to use it for bushcrafting when there. However, I cannot carry it ready to use on my person. So I put it inside that pack and I put that pack at the bottom of my rucksack. I know where it is. I can go to it when I get there. And when I get there, I can take it out and clip it on my belt. However, it's not readily to hand to me when I'm traveling there to and from. If I'm then stopped by a police officer, one of the requirements is that you actually declare it. If the police, you don't run straight up to a police officer and go, I'm carrying a sheath knife in the bottom of my pack. He's going to be like, oh, what kind of weirdo is this? But if he says to you, are you carrying anything, sir, that I need to know about that might prick me, stick me, cut me, or otherwise be a threat to me? Yes, officer, in the bottom of my pack, not readily to hand, inside my first aid kit or inside that, I am carrying a sheath knife because I am using it to teach bushcraft or practice bushcraft at a private location or at a location where I have permission. Right? There is absolutely nothing he can say about that. You are complying with the law. However, if you have it in your pocket, if you have it readily to hand in a public place, you're in trouble. And the reason being that the whole justification behind it is under British law, they say, what would you expect the average reasonably minded person to do? If you're carrying a sheath knife on your belt and you're attacked by a couple of hooligans, okay, they say that a reasonably minded person might go to that weapon to defend themselves. Therefore, it makes it illegal to carry that in a way or method that puts it readily to hand in a public place without justification. Okay? Defence is not justification in law. Under UK law, if you're carrying a weapon or any item, could be a walking stick, could be a brolly, it could be a sock with a I don't know handful of sand in it, and you state I'm carrying that for self-defense, you are in poo. You are. It's unfortunately under English law there is a section that says going equipped. Okay, that pen there, that pen there is a titanium pen with a window breaker. Okay, it's not a weapon; it's a window breaker and it's a pen. However, if I decided to carry a pen like that and use a pen like that as a weapon and stated to a police officer, I carry that for self defense, I am going armed and equipped for violence and therefore I'm breaking the law. Okay. If I just reiterate the fact that it's a pen with a window breaker, a survival tool to be used in the event of an emergency egress from a vehicle, they might look at me and say, what's the chances of that happening? But I've justified it in law. I've justified the reason for having it. Okay. So again, it's not what you're carrying, it's the reason you're carrying it and how you're carrying it. Okay. I've sat and spoken to police officers. I've actually had on one of the 4x4 driving courses they were training a local police force in the use of their 4x4s. I did a little bit of a survival course for them, and it was emergency fire lighting, first aid in the field, vehicle recovery, and kit that I thought might be an idea for them to think about carrying. And we got into quite a long discussion about knives, and all the police officers at the beginning of the talk were well, knives, no place in public. However, when I explained why, they all pretty much came up with it's justified. And in actual fact, two of them initially, when I pulled that out and showed them that, went, oh, now that's naughty. When I actually explained to them how it's designed to be used and the fact that it is a world legal knife and designed as a world legal knife to comply with all the laws, and the reason it's that shape, two of them actually said, give us the details, mate, because I'm going to buy one of those myself. What a brilliant bit of kit. So quite often you have to break through that initial knee-jerk shock horror and do a little bit of sympathetic education to people. And it can be anybody from a police officer onwards. Now, there are places by law in the UK you are not allowed a bladed item at all, centre of London or city of London. Some other city centres, hospitals, law courts, places like that. Obviously, if you go and visit somebody in a prison, you're not even going to take, a can opener with you, because again, these places are restricted. But do your research, do your checking, do your due diligence. Remember, it's down to you, and be sensible about it. It's not going to be a problem. And I will say, as a police officer explained to me, if for some reason the police officer, and they don't know every law off by heart, decides that he's going to confiscate that item off you Be polite, be friendly, don't get arsey because you're just creating confrontation. But just ask him for a receipt and tell him you're going to pop down to the police station and get it back because you can. Yeah. T, yeah, I agree with you, mate. The whistle that came with that, I've taken the lanyard off it because the whistle is pants. Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, it's a good bit of kit. Yeah, catapult. I carry a catapult with me now up the woods. I've had a great deal of fun with that. And again, would I take it into the town centre? No, of course I wouldn't. But messing about with it up the woods, not a problem. There's no legality issues with it as long as you're carrying it sensibly. But again, if I was carrying it in a manner that could cause distress, fear, or concern to another human being, yeah, they break the law, break the law. Yeah, the thing is, one of the problems, TJ, with British law is the onus is put on you to constantly update the information. This goes back to my firearms days. So I constantly keep myself updated with the government websites, and you can all go and look at the, if you just type in www.gov UK and have a look, then subtitle it with whatever you want, whether it's knives, swords, firearms regulations, um, wild camping regulations. You can look at the specific sections, and what I will say to you is, don't look at the first line. That's a mistake most people make, and they run with that. So the first line of UK knife law says it is an offence to carry a bladed item in a public place. Read the whole thing and all the subsections, because you then come down to there are exceptions, and the exceptions are, and as long as you're applying those subsections and those sections, you've got no issues. Okay, so it's again, apply the rules correctly and sensibly. There are, and again, we've got friends on here that are from other countries where you are allowed to carry a knife publicly, openly. Okay, it works for them, it works in their environment, and quite often in those environments and those countries, they may have a lot larger rural community that do carry a bladed item every single day as a tool to be used as a tool. Yeah, black belt barrister is absolutely brilliant, and he again gives the same advice I do, and says to people, look, a police officer, when you're dealing with police officers, you also have to bear in mind you don't know what that police officer's had to deal with in the last couple of weeks. He may have had to deal with a stabbing. He might be walking around in the back of his head, seeing things over the last couple of years where he's going, do you know what? I don't want to see another bladed item in a public place because I've seen too much. You and I haven't. We've seen them used properly and sensibly. So you have to be a little bit considerate. A friend of mine who's a police officer, he's a traffic officer. He regularly has to deal with drink drivers. You have never met a man so vehemently against alcohol. Right? Absolutely. You talk to him, and he's like, if I can ban alcohol, make alcohol illegal, completely against the law for anybody to consume, he said, I would. He said, because all I ever see out of it is pain and suffering, whether it be violence, whether it be the drink drivers, and so on. And I got to understand, yeah, if you're seeing that on such a regular basis, that is definitely going to make you a little less receptive to those people that are just having a quiet pint with their mates on a Sunday afternoon and going to walk home and using it sensibly. Yeah, it's not a fact that I'm justifying his attitude to it, but I can understand it, and I can respect it. It's the other big problem, isn't it? Respect. Respect why somebody may feel a certain way. It's the same thing with people that are calling for the total ban on bladed items. Look at those people. Quite often they're people that have lost family members, young people, to knife crime. Well, do you think you could really, if you were in their position, how would you feel? Yeah. So again, you have to be a bit respectful to other people's opinions and ideas. You can't just sit there and say, no, I disagree. Sometimes you have to say, no, do you know what? If I was in their situation, I would probably feel the same myself. But I'm not, and I'm a law abiding citizen, something I reiterate time and time again. I don't agree with all the rules. I don't agree, hi Ray, I don't agree with all the laws. However, I am a law abiding citizen, and therefore I will obey the rules and regulations because I don't want to end up in trouble. Brilliant, TJ. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So again, when you're adapting and building your kit, you've got to associate it to what is practical for what you want. So, like I say, my uptown kit, maybe as simple as that and what I carry around my neck. Okay. I know that's legal for me to have in a public place. However, if I'm going into somewhere where they've banned bladed items altogether, it just comes off. Simple as that. I'm not going to argue or get myself into trouble over it. If I'm going out and about and it's semi-rural, or I'm going to travel a long distance in the car, it will be that. My bushcrafting knives and my survival knives and that, yeah, they're carried completely separate. Getting away from that, or getting onto that and taking that a step further. So, there's another thing I like to carry with me, tucked away in a pocket, just a little pack of matches in a plastic bag, folded up, put into a top pocket in a smock. Why not? Simple fire lighting system. So let's have a look at the packs. Oh, compasses. Compasses. So see a lot of button compasses about. You can buy them quite cheaply. Not all button compasses are good button compasses. That one cost me £10. Okay, that was bought through an army or military supplier that supplies button compasses for escape and evasion. It's one of those things I would always suggest you spend a few extra quid on. But the other thing is, any button compass or any compass you get, make sure it's free moving. Make sure that there's no bubbles in there. Make sure that it rotates freely, and check it. Okay. Now I know which direction north is from my house, so before I go out, I might do a double check on that, just to make sure it's not become demagnetized or damaged in any way, form, or manner. Because again, there's been plenty of incidents of people going out with what they thought was a working compass and ending up completely off pat or offline because their compass have failed to work, are jammed up, locked up. And it's such a simple thing to do. Rotate your compass and make sure that it moves freely. It's as easy as that. If you're out and you suddenly think to yourself, "Oh, I'm so sure about this," just turn it, see how it works, okay, and reference it to what you're looking at on your map, or what you know is the truth of the direction you're traveling. If you, yeah, it's mate, double check it works. Same thing with cigarette lighters. Before I go up the woods, check the cigarette lighter was working, make sure it's got gas in it, make sure it's ready to go. There's nothing more infuriating than taking something out and finding it's run out. Other pockets. Now, one of the great things that was taught to us by COVID, okay, and made cheaper to buy, hand gels, sanitizing hand gels, simple little thing like that, world of difference. I need to do something a bit personal in the woods after digging my hole in that. I can sterilize my hands. I've had to deal with an animal carcass, sterilize my hands. I'm about to make some food or a brew, sterilize my hands. Again, simple little thing to carry. I need to make a fire and the conditions are really, really bad. It does that. It's a force multiplier, as we would say in the military. It's something well worth carrying, and you don't even need to carry something that big. You can get smaller containers of it. It's easy to get, it's cheap, it's worth having with you. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Force, yeah, again, like I say, force multiply. It really, really works well for you. Um, Same thing with the chapsticks. Chapsticks, like I say, a good beeswax chapstick, absolutely brilliant. Burt's Bees, recommend that one. Like I say, you can buy these online. Make sure that they seal well. Okay, little chapstick like that. Fire lighting, dealing with rubs, chafing. If you're getting windburn, if you're in an environment where it's cold, it's wet, it's high winds, you can smear it on your cheeks, your lips. Does 101 things. It's just, and it's just such a simple, small thing to carry. Yeah, fire dragon gel. You can use that to clean your hands. That now you've got to be a bit cautious with that because that is a bioethanol, and what that will do as well, that will strip the grease from your hands the same as these. But these are designed to be used on skin, so they're a little bit more sensitive to the oils and the greases in your skins. Dragon gel being bioethanol, you can trigger dermatitis with it. So yeah, I would try and be a little bit careful with that. But if you had nothing else, yeah, go to it. Little P38 tin opener. Okay, anybody that's ever done an escape and evasion course, brilliant piece of kit. Okay, works really well on plaster cuffs and things like that, as well as opening tins. Small, efficient, can go into your wallet flat. You can carry it around your neck. Yeah, a great simple addition to your kit and your equipment. And again, tin opener. Okay, so if you find yourself in a survival situation, you need to open a tin, bit of drink, bit of beans, whatever, something as small and simple as that. Yeah, many uses, and will work as a ferro rod striker as well. So again, you could even turn around and go, do you know what? I'll put that on my ferro rod, carry it with my ferro rod. That, I would say, sits alongside that little tool there. You know, two items that really want to go together, sit away inside a wallet or whatever. Great little bit of kit to carry. Small survival whistle. Now, I like to carry two survival whistles. I've got one around my neck, but I like to have a second one. The reason I like to have a second one is if I'm dealing with a casualty or a mate, I can leave that with them. I can sit there and say, do you know what, especially in a dense woodland or something like that, you blow on that, count to 30, blow on it again. Well, this works several ways. One, I know where he is. Two, if he's blowing on that repeatedly, I know he's still conscious and he's still with me. Yeah. It's and it also then gives him something to do. Okay, makes him feel like he's got a role and a task in that survival situation. Now, these sort of whistles are great. They work better than nothing else. However, what I do recommend to people to get, and I'm always, when I teach courses, I say to people, best whistle in the world to put in your emergency kit is the old referee type whistle with a P in it, because they're extremely loud and they don't take a lot of effort to blow. Okay, you think a referee's running around a pitch for 40 minutes, he's going to get winded. Those whistles are designed to be super loud. They're absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, TJ, you can wrap sniper tape around it. Now, let's get on to this because this is something that comes up a lot in the survival world. Wrapping things up with tape is great, and it's a military thing. Wrap it up in tape, stops it opening up, stops it getting coming open, and all the rest of it. That's brilliant. And sniper tape, for those of you that have not seen sniper tape, the sniper tape comes like this. It's a very heavy duty canvas tape. It has a great adhesive ability. Okay, it was originally designed as a repair tape for canvas kit and equipment. And then guys obviously found it was brilliant for making scrims, hiding things, wrapping around the barrels and kit, to make it less shiny, make it blend in. You can do things like put it over the end of a torch, make a little hole in it so it gives a smaller light focus. brilliant. Now, one of the downsides with sniper tape and things like that is if you are in a survival situation, or it's cold, or you're not in a position of being particularly dexterous, this stuff can absolutely be a real bullseye to get off. Okay, now you see how well it works. What I would say to you is, if you're going to wrap it, make sure and leave a really good tab. All right, make a tab like that, wrap it so that you've got that tab, so that you've got something to grip. Because the amount of times I've seen guys, especially on straps, on webbing, where they need to adjust that webbing out further, and they've wrapped it up with tape, and then they've wrapped the tape, especially with this stuff, back on itself, it becomes an absolute nightmare to try and take off. Invariably, they end up having to slice it with a blade to get it off. So again, when you're putting things together, always leave a tab on the tape. Okay, now that wasn't my idea. That was something I was taught by a guy from an SF unit years ago, who looked at my kit and laughed and went, "Yeah, that's brilliant, mate. But how do you get it off when it's freezing cold? Your hands aren't feeling particularly dexterous, and you need to get to it." Yeah. So leave that tab on there so that you can peel it off. Just a little, one of those little tips from Mickey. Hank of bank line. Okay, so in the last 20 years, paracord has become the way. Paracord is the item. Okay, it is brilliant. Love paracord. Paracord has a couple of problems though. One, it's quite thick for its actual strength. Two, yeah, it stretches. It has an element of stretch to it. Yeah. So what I started using this probably about 10 years ago now. I started buying bankline in, and bankline has a couple of bonuses over paracord. Okay, one is its durable strength. It is designed for fishing. It is designed for making nets. It is designed for being submerged in water. It doesn't rot, which paracord can do over time. It has no stretch. So if you need to make snares, improvise a bow or anything like that, this stuff is absolutely brilliant because it has no stretch and give. It makes the world's best prusik knots. It will make boot of that little piece like that, make bootlace. In actual fact, I can suspend myself from a little piece like that. Okay, it's not particularly thick. And again, in the survival world, if you need to, with a little twist, you can break it down into the individual fibers. Okay, so it's well worth having. Now, it doesn't replace paracord because paracord's a lot cheaper. Okay, but I would say to you, if you've got your kit, or if you're putting a kit together, have whatever amount of paracord you normally carry to use to make your lines and that, but also back it up with a good 20 feet of this stuff. Okay, and for those of you that have not tried it, you can buy it reasonably affordably on Amazon. Buy it and give it a go. You won't regret it. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. And if you're building more permanent camps and you're setting things up, this will last a lot longer through the weather conditions for you. It's absolutely superb. Downside with it, don't ever tie it in a knot, tie it in a hitch. Because if you tie it in a knot, you will not get it undone. Okay? The old saying, hitches for releasing, knots are for not undoing. Okay? This stuff, once it's tied in a permanent knot, it's there for good. Okay? There's another reason it makes absolutely superb prusik knots, is it won't ravel, it won't undo, and it will hold on paracord absolutely fantastically. Okay? So yeah, get yourselves a bit of bank line. Right, the pouch, okie doke. So the pouch normally goes in my bag. So doing my walks just lately, I can't carry a huge amount of weight because I'm having to build my body back up. So in my pack on a daily walk for me at the moment, it's my first aid kit. Always got my first aid kit with me. It's a confidence thing. Not everybody wants to carry a first aid kit. I get that, and I have no problem with it whatsoever. I've carried an IFAC in most of the jobs I've done in my life. Okay, I like to know I've got one with me, not just for me, but if I have to treat or help somebody else. One of the downsides of being medically trained in any way, format whatsoever, is when you don't have a first aid kit with you, you feel that your right arm's been cut off. Okay, so again, that goes in the bottom of my bag. That goes in my bag. For my local walks, I'm normally carrying 500 mils of water, or if I want to increase the weight in the bag, a Nalgene bottle of water, which is what I've done now because the water has a nice weight for its size. And again, if I get a bit thirsty, if I come across something that needs a bit of a clean up, I want to wash my hands, it's there, I can use it. And I'm only walking locally, so I'm not carrying much really with me at the moment. And in fact, I've been told by the doctor keep the weight at the moment down to about 5 to 6 pounds. So first aid kit, day pack, 500 mils of water, and then my waterproofs, and if need be, in my pocket, pair of gloves. Okay, woolly hat on, whatever else. That's what I'm carrying with me. All right. Now, in pockets, I might back it up, and I like to carry it on a regular basis. Notebook and pen. Okay, simple. My walk today, coming back from my walk, mobile mechanic down the road working on somebody's car. Had a little chat to him. I was able to take down some details off of him. I was also able to write down my phone number, my details, tear it off, give it to him. Notepad and pen. Simple old-fashioned thing. It works a treat. So let's have a quick squiz through this little pack. Now, I ain't going to suit everybody what I carry in it. Oh, you see, Casmic got me some little name tags. Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Yeah, I liked them. Thank you, Kaz. So this pack normally lives in a bag. It's a go-to pack for emergencies. Now this is designed by me purely for it's a backup. It's a sundries backup, and that's what it is. It's a sundries pouch. It carries those things I might not normally have with me, or I might want for doing backups, emergency repairs, sorting kit out. So, Cujo, hiya mate, how you doing? Becomes a line when it's attached to something with purpose. Yep. Kevlar string, yeah, Kevlar twines, beautiful stuff, love that. Right, so in here, courtesy of Lee Michelle, my SE Azula, okay. Brilliant knife, absolutely fine, fantastic, does all the jobs I want it to do, lives in there because I might only have my pen knife with me, and it's in the bottom of my pack, in a pack, sealed away. Am I carrying it readily to hand? No. What is your justification for carrying it with you, sir? Well, as you see, it's in an emergency survival pack. I teach bushcraft survival skills. That's why it's in there. Worst case scenario, well, we're going to confiscate that, sir. You need to pick it up from the police station. Not a problem, officer. See you in a few hours. Right, next thing out of that is an emergency bag. Mylar emergency bag, survival blankets, absolutely superb. Why? Well, if I've got a casualty, even in the local environment, side of the road, in fact, a couple of years ago, we had a little old lady passed not far from here at the side of the road. She'd fallen over and unfortunately had a heart attack, and nobody there was medically trained. I'm not saying they could have survived, they could have saved her life, but if somebody had been medically trained, they may have been able to survive, prevent it getting any worse. And I've also had casualties myself that I've come across in environments where having a mylar blanket would have made a difference. It would have really, really helped being able to stabilise their body temperature, make them a bit more comfortable, and help to stave off that shock. It also is a good backup for me in the event that I have an emergency. So there we go, mylar bag. Little emergency whistle. Okay, those little survival whistles, very good. 3-tone whistle. It carries a long way. They're lightweight. Again, there. If I have to leave the casualty in the mylar bag, give them the whistle. Toot on that for me every 30 seconds, mate. Just, again, it helps you to know that they are still conscious. They're still doing something whilst you're doing whatever else you need to. Burns gel, simple little burns gel. Self-explanatory. I burnt my fingers a number of times out. Anybody that says to me, I've never cut myself when I've been up the woods, or I've never burnt myself because I wasn't thinking and I picked up my cup, well, it happens. It does happen. The fact that I'm prepared to show it on a video is yeah, might make me look like a bit of a Burke, but I like to be honest. It does happen. So in there again, the bank line. Okay, again, another 10 feet of bank line. Repair shoelaces, do repairs, tie straps down, fix straps. For its weight and what you're carrying, it's nothing. I don't think I know anybody that hasn't broken a shoelace at some point or other. It's just a pain in the butt. And you got a bit of that, you got it sorted, you're heading home. A little fire lighting pack, and that's it. That pack itself is a plastic pack. Okay, so if I had to, I could scoop water with it, but it's not what I've designed it for, or I'm looking at doing with it. And that fire lighting pack it's fire extenders. There's some emergency matches and fire extenders in there. Again, that doubles up the fact that I'm carrying that. And if the police officer says, why am I carrying that? It's a survival kit. It's a bushcraft survival kit. I'm heading into the woods. That's why I've got it with me. The whole thing justifies me being able to carry that. Okay. So, and that again is tinder pack. It is just a tinder pack. There is some jute twine that's waxed in there. There's a plectrum in there. There's a couple of little scrapings of fat wood in there. There is cotton pads in there. Yeah, a couple of cotton pads with wax. Simple, light, small, efficient. I pretty much light a fire anywhere I needed to. And again, that's designed as a pack to sit alongside anything else you're carrying, or to be something to be carried on its own. So in here, it's items that may or may not come in handy that I could use if I really had to in an emergency situation. So brass wire, self-explanatory, snares. Okay, snares, trapping, but also fixing kit. The amount of times I've been able to replace a buckle or a plastic clip on something just as a get me home with a bit of brass wire. Okay, fuses in cars and at home. Okay, it will do as an emergency fuse to get you back. It's simple, easy. Cut it off, bend it into shape, put it in. It will fix your lights. It will get you home. Okay. The only thing to be aware of, as any electrician will tell you, if a fuse is blowing, it's possibly that you've got a problem further down the line, and that is probably going to increase the ampage. So when you put it in and you replace that fuse with this stuff and it's working, keep an eye on that circuit. Make sure it's not overheating. It's not because you've got a short, it's not going to cause a fire. Yeah, got to be a bit practical about it. But quite often fuses go through wear and tear, or maybe just a little spontaneous surge. Yeah, great bit of kit. Magnesium rod. Okay, does what it says on the tin. It's magnesium. A few scrapings of that helps you light a fire. That there, you all know what that is. It's a little jigsaw blade. That jigsaw blade works alongside the Swiss Army knife. Most of you, I expect, have seen this trick. So the Swiss Army knife always comes with that little key ring. And that little key ring, not just putting it on your keys, has a use, especially if you have the little hook. Okay. Now, one of the things you can do with that, or it's designed to do, is you thread your blade in, put the hook down, and the hook's designed to clip onto the blade like that, which now means I've got a little jigsaw. Okay, whether it's a metal hacksaw or whether you use a wood saw, that is your choice. But it's a handy little bit of kit. So that now lives in that pack, because combined with my Swiss Army knife, I have a saw. Ooh, and I purposely went for one with a blade that is on the pull, okay, rather than the push that cuts, because what I have found is it works better on the draw, clamping it to that. Alongside that, for emergency situations, that used to live in my first aid kit, it's just a small scalpel. Okay, I've transferred it to that because it's small, light and efficient. It's in that pack. That pack usually sits alongside my first aid kit. It's not often I'm going to need to do surgery. Okay, now that did flick open. Yes, I know some people are going to say one-handed opening, it's illegal. No, it's not. One-handed opening is not legal in the UK. Assisted opening is. Okay, so again, that is designed as a medical implement. I want it to open quickly and easily. I may well be dealing with something where I'm having to hold somebody and I need to cut clothing off, maybe have a dig around, maybe even I'm doing a bit of game preparation. But a very, very fine edge like that is always worth having with you. It's a lot easier to use that than to use something like a Stanley blade. Cheers, Lee Michelle. In that pack, I'm not going to dig it all out, but basically there is a multi-tool in there, little hooks, fishing gear, stuff like that. There's also, hiya Katrina, how are you? Observation post Charlie, hiya mate, hope you're good, hope you're all doing well. And a wire saw. Now, not all wire saws are made equal. In fact, a lot of wire saws are absolutely pants. This one isn't particularly good, but in an emergency, it's better than having nothing. Spare scalpel blades to go with the scalpel. Okay. In a pack, completely on its own, one little small fire dragon gel, because again, this is a survival kit. It's designed to be adapted and to help me get through the next 24 hours in an emergency. Puri tabs help me sterilize water. Lothramide anti-diarrheal. Okay, so dehydration, trots, diarrhea, whatever you want to call it, these things will bung you up. Okay, 2 of those. I used to carry more, because the simple principle with these is you take 2 at the initial outburst, shall we call it, take 2 and then have 1 for every outburst afterwards. But I found over the years that these are that efficient for me. Take 2 sorts my problem out. 2 painkillers, 2 paracetamol painkillers. Okay, that's all I require. 24 hours. I don't want to start taking medicines over a long distance. If I'm in trouble, I'm looking at getting through the next 24 hours, sorting myself out. That pain relief is to give me enough time to sort my admin out and go from there. Pain relief, you've got to be very careful within a survival situation. One of the things you've always got to remember about pain, it's your body's way of telling you you've damaged something and not to be silly about it. If you reduce all the pain completely, what you will then do is you will attempt to move, you will attempt to overexert, and you will do more damage. In most survival situations, your best bet is to take one of those to ease the pain and accept the pain. Okay? Your body's telling you there is a problem. If you take all the pain away, you will get up, you will attempt to walk out. Quite often, you will actually make yourself worse. Cetirizine hydrochloride, okay, hay fever tablets to the uninitiated, okay, to the rest of us, okay, antihistamines. You may not have hay fever, you can have an allergic reaction at any time to almost anything. So if you're having a major allergic reaction, 2 of them straight away. The antihistamines in that may well help you with that allergic reaction. If you get stung by stinging nettles and things like that and you're having a severe reaction, get 2 of those into you. Okay, they will help. And a simple little fishing kit. Now, I don't really do much with fishing kits in the UK, really truthfully, because I'm not going to be living off fish in the south. Okay, a lot of our rivers are quite highly polluted. There's lots of legalities around fishing, but it's a survival kit. And people have said to me over the years, why is there no fishing kit? So I stuck one in there. Purely and simply because it stops people asking that question when I'm teaching. Now, if you're living somewhere where you have a good supply of edible fish, you're out in Alaska, Canada, North America, somewhere like that, yeah, that's definitely a go-to. Catching gudgeon in the local stream to survive on in the UK here, it's not a practical option. It's not something you're going to be doing. Okay, if you're living in the Highlands of Scotland or somewhere like that, yes, there is every chance of good eating fish from your local water sources. You might want to put it in your kit. What would I use my fishing kit for here in the UK? If it was an absolute survival situation and I needed protein, I would combine the fishing kit with the bank line, and I would probably use that as a bird kit. Okay. I'm not going to get into that in too many details, but there are methods for using that kit for catching birds. And to be honest, you've got more chance of catching the birds than you have the fish down here. And it's probably going to give you a cleaner, safer protein source. So there we go. That is my pocket dump. That is pretty much, hopefully, what I carry in my pockets. Hopefully you found it interesting. Now, not everybody's going to agree with what I carry. Not everybody's going to say, do you know what? I think that's brilliant, Mick. You're all going to adapt your kits to suit yourselves. Everybody's going to have a different need, a different requirement, a different idea. And that's going to be an interesting thing. What I want to do from this, I would like to see what other people think. I would like to learn from other people. I would like to see what other people put in their kits, what they carry with them. There is no, I'm always saying this, there is no rights and wrongs other than saying I carry absolutely nothing. Now, we have friends like Life's a Hobby. Now, he's brilliant at what he does because he's perfected what he does and what he carries down to his absolute requirements for his missions. And he says things like he doesn't carry a first aid kit, which I say, I know he carries a first aid kit, but his first aid kit is in his head, right? And this guy has absolutely got it right in the fact that he's decided that the method for him is to adapt his clothing. He uses his clothing. He's gone through his process, thought what's most likely going to happen to him, and adapted what he needs in what he wears. So again, that's another route you can go down. You don't need to carry a first aid kit. You can sit there and say, right, what am I wearing? How can I use what I'm wearing to improvise my emergency kit? That's one route you can go. TJ, yes, I would. All right, so TJ, if you're carrying medications, right, so one of the medications Kaz has to take is morphine. So she carries a prescription card that says that is prescribed to her. Okay. The other thing is there, in the event that you have an interaction with, say, the police, say you have an interaction with the police, they like to take things off of you. Okay, which they have to do. It's a legal requirement. However, if you've got something that says the reason that Joe Bloggs is carrying this medication is that he is required this medication, they are then duty bound to ensure that at your request you have access to that medication. Okay, they cannot turn around to you and say, no, mate, you're not taking that. If you're somebody that may have an issue where they may cause fits and so on like that, they have a duty of care. And if you have the proof that you are supposed to have it with you, then they cannot physically take it off you. You have to look at it from the point of view, and I've had it myself on the door, where I've had people on the door, you've checked them over and they've had things like temazepam with them. Okay. Now, as a doorman, why are you carrying temazepam into a nightclub? Okay. Now, if the person's able to provide something to me that says this is medically prescribed to them, it is part of that person's medication, then as a doorman, I would look at it and go, yeah, fine, no problem. Especially as I look at their condition, their state, and how much they were carrying in with them. If they're carrying 50 temazepam with them into a nightclub, I'm going to be like, mate, go home. You're not flogging those in here. So again, you have to apply it. But if by having your prescription with you, you're giving yourself a bit of protection. You're also giving information to people. Again, if you, also a good point there is if you become a casualty, you're unconscious. Ambulance crew arrive, they find you. Now, one of the things any ambulance crew is going to do straight away, if they can't identify you, they're going to look for your wallet to try and find your details in there. They're also looking for things like identifiers, say you're diabetic, you're epileptic, or any issues like that, because again, that's all important information for them to have, and they need to have it to hand. So by carrying a prescription card with you, or even something you've just laminated, put in your wallet that says these are prescriptions, would really help. Okay, it really helps medics if I know that you're taking something for fits and things like that. It means that I can help get you the right treatment, or even treat you. If anybody's ever had to come across somebody that's having a fit, it's a scary thing. It's not. It can be more scary for the person coming across it quite often than the person having the fit. But if you find something on them that says, you know, I'm an epileptic, don't panic. Okay, put me in a comfortable or the recovery position, or just stand and make sure that I don't get run over. Brilliant. And don't try and put epileptics into the recovery. Don't try and force anybody that's having a fit into a recovery position or any other position. Basically, make sure they're not going to bang their head. Don't try and restrict their movements. Let the fit carry on and just keep an eye on them. Keep them safe. If they start to look like they're getting worse, okay, then you might have to act. But in the majority of cases, just make sure they're not going to hurt themselves. Just move things away from their body. And that's it. By trying to hold them and restrict their movement, you're probably going to increase the intensity of the fit. Okay, and phone for an ambulance. Phone for an ambulance. No, nobody I know that has, and I have a couple of friends that have fits. None of those that comes out of a fit and finds an ambulance there is ever going to moan about it. Okay, they usually end up apologising to everybody. But yeah. Yeah, exactly that, TJ. It's a question you used to ask as a medic. So sometimes you forget these things until we're discussing it. It brings up, this is the great thing about doing a live like this and having a chat. Yeah, exactly that, Owen. Yeah, having a first aid kit for other people. I carry a first aid kit not primarily for me, but it's for treating other people. It's for dealing. The only bit of kit in that first aid kit that I've really go to for me, on an average basis, is a burns gel, because we've all seen me burn myself on a video, and the tape if I do get a cut or something like that. It's worth having the kit and equipment with you. It really does help. Oh, sorry, Katrina. I'm sorry you've had to miss your trip, but at least you're safe. I don't have the corkscrew on my sack. So my Swiss Army knife, I haven't actually got the corkscrew on that one. So I'll open it all out for you so you can see. I wanted the lightest Swiss Army knife I could have, really, because I was dropping the weight from the Leatherman, and I thought, right, what do I really need? Now, the corkscrew has many uses on the Swiss Army knife. I know that, and I know there's going to be people say, oh, you should have definitely got one with the corkscrew. I purposely went for one without corkscrew. I broke it down to just a handful of items that I would really like to have with me on a daily basis in the knife. And let's try and get them all out. Okay, so there we go. That's my Swiss Army knife. So the items that I really wanted to make sure I had was primarily the scissors. The scissors are brilliant on these. Same with the Leatherman. And the reason I like to have scissors is I've got fingernails, in all honesty. We've all done it. We've all snagged a fingernail. And trying to take that little snag off the fingernail where you've broken it and that. It's a pain in the backside, and if you leave it, it just gets worse. It tears back to the quick, and it can be a real pain in the butt and uncomfortable. Small pair of efficient scissors, yeah, you got that problem under control. So that's the scissors gone. The next thing was 2 blades, one small, one large. Like I say, food, general purpose. A can opener with a small screwdriver on the top of it. Brilliant bit of kit. Also works as a lifter, so you could use that as a lifter on your pots. Okay, so again, because the Leatherman pliers, the most common use I used those for was lifting things off of fires. It gave me a lifter. Screwdriver and bottle opener. Well, bottle openers, we don't really use bottle openers so much these days, but it also has a little wire stripper on it, so that was a bonus. The awl, that's a handy tool, especially if you're doing your bushcraft and that. And quite often, if you just need to make a hole in a belt or something like that, make a new hole in your belt because you're losing weight or maybe even gaining weight. Brilliant bit of kit for that. Also can be used as a needle. Phillips screwdriver, well, that speaks for itself. And the hook. That hook has many uses as an absolute brilliant bit of kit. It's a leftover design from a time when we carried or we sent parcels wrapped in brown paper covered in string, because it comes from being able to carry them. The other 2 important items on the Swiss Army knife for me was the toothpick. It's 101 uses. And probably the best tick removing tool in the world. I've had many tick removers, but I find these the most efficient for me. And again, if you're going to be an outdoors person and you're anywhere where there's deer, sheep, goats, yeah, you want something that's going to remove ticks, because sooner or later you're going to pick one up. And the big thing with ticks is get it off ASAP. Right? Ticks tend to stay on people for about 24 hours, and before they drop off, they regurgitate blood. That's the danger point. So if you can get it off early, all the better for you. Tourniquet and Israeli bandage, yeah, that's in my first aid kit. My first aid kit, like I say, is pretty much a 4 or 5 item kit. Other things that you can carry with you, right? So not so much in a pocket of a smock. Kaz picked that up for me yesterday. Got it, came in for me. Little tin cup with a lid. So a little cook set, some coffees. Okay, if you're carrying 500 mils of water, carry a little cooker like that. Little gel stove in there. That could possibly go in a pocket. It's better in a pouch, let's be honest with you, with the size of it, but that would fit in a smock pocket. So again, if I'm just going for a walk, say I'm going up to the local woods and I'm only going up for an hour or 2, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to carry loads and loads of kit. Yeah, that could go in a smock pocket. 500 mils of water in the other pocket. I can get a brew up there. One of my favourite things in the world to have it in that, though, is an OXO. I've not done a video on OXOs purely and simply because that's my secret little thing. Get people sit there, you then have to explain that OXOs are for making gravy. Yes, I'm drinking hot, thin gravy, but you, on a cold day, it's a brilliant bit of kit. Cheers, TJ. The setup. So, and again, this isn't all in one smock. Don't think I'm carrying all this in one bit of kit, because I tell you, that would probably equate to about 25 pounds in weight. But this is just, I literally went through several jackets, dumped out the pockets, certain items, those, they live on the back wall, and whenever I'm going out, whatever I'm planning to do, I sit and look at the wall and I go, today I'm going to take that with me, today I'm going to take that with me, because it's kit to kit to kit on various days. That off, it might be that, it might be that, it may even be, get it down. It may be my bushcraft knife. Okay. Maybe my survival knife. But again, it's you take what you need with you on the day you need with you. You adapt. And then for me, I've always then got to think about my GoPro batteries, my GoPro stand, my tripod, my second camera, and everything else that goes with you. Anyhow, so there we go. That's it. That's my live for this week. That's a nice little live. I enjoyed that. Thank you to Bushcraft Rebooted, because I pretty much nicked your format, mate. I hope you don't mind. But when I watched it the other day, I thought, what a fantastic way to be able to go through some kit, explain it, show people, have a chat about it. So I'll be ending this in about, let's say, we'll end this in 10 minutes. So I'm going to give you a chance now, questions and answers time. Any questions you've got, anything you want to ask, anything you want me to go back over and show you, anything you'd like to suggest, by all means throw it up now. I'm handing it back to you guys. I will go through the comments and see what we go for there. Yeah, OXO is absolutely fantastic for a replacement of salt. Brilliant bits. So you had a long night last. Take it easy, brother. Be good. TJ, aromat, nice flavouring. Yeah, I quite often chuck it in. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Well, looks like our connection is unstable. Please wait till we try to reconnect you. Oh, reconnected. Sorry, guys. I've got a warning then coming up that the connection was unstable. Obviously, YouTube and the internet's having a bit of difficulty with the weather. Glad you liked it. Hoped it helped. Yeah, aromat's a military staple. That Tabasco, woohoo! We love a bit of Tabasco. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And any of you that have not tried aromat, it's basically garlicky salt. Yeah, sprinkle a little bit on anything, absolutely makes food taste good. Oh. But yeah, it's fine. What works for you, Katrina? Excellent. Yes, we will be back for the Sunday social, me and Kaz. Kaz has also, she has ordered me the next military meal. So that'll be coming. So that will be, we will be filming that in the next week or two, and that will be up towards the end of the month. That will go out to the members as normal a week beforehand. And then it will go out to general public release. Now, she won't tell me which menu she's got me as yet, but she smiles every time we talk about it. So it's got me a little bit nervous, but I trust her because she loves me. And I do believe it is a 24-hour ration pack. So That will be interesting. That will be interesting. Dirty Faces, hiya, brother. Hope you're all good. Thank you very much, everybody, for the thumbs up, for the comments. Thank you for joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Sunday Night Social, yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you all then. Anybody that's watching this on catch up, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some ideas. I'm not telling you how to do things because I refuse to do that. But all I try and do is give people tips, ideas, methods on how I do things, and then hopefully you can develop your own methodology, ideas, skill sets, ideas. Nothing is set in stone. Find what works for you, okay? Because it works for me might not be something that adapts to your environment, where you are in the world, your physicality, your situation, but hopefully we'll give you some tips and ideas. We do, there's a lot of people on the internet telling you that they're the perfect expert, know everything, and all the rest of it. And I often think to myself that that's a falsehood and the wrong way to think of things. The right way to think of things is constantly learn, adapt, share, and be interested. Be interested. You know, it's how it all works, isn't it? God, I've got some putting away, tidying up to do now. All this has got to go back in the pockets, isn't it? Oh, well, that could be something to do tonight. So, Bull Shoals, how you doing, brother? How you doing? I hope you're all good. We're just finishing off here, unfortunately, mate. Did a bit of a pocket dump of my out of my smocks and all my kit and that. Actually surprised myself how much stuff I do carry in various smocks and pockets. And there was one or two items where I went, blimey, forgot I'd even had that, like my monocular, you know. But has a place in the kit. Brilliant. Well, it's been fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you being here. I do apologise that the videos at the moment are a bit same old with the lives and that. But as you're all probably aware, I'm recovering from this surgery, so it's making it a little bit difficult for me to get out. Cheers, Maximus. Thank you very much. Cheers, Bill. That's a brilliant idea. I like that. Do excuse me, got a bit of hiccups. Man after my own heart. It's I often get asked, what do I like to carry, or what would I carry if I could carry? And I am a big fan of 22 LR. I know people sit there and they go, it's not the most efficient caliber in the world for doing certain jobs that we don't discuss. But to be honest with you, 22 LR, close range, accurate, reliable, no recoil. You know, it's going to do what you need it to do. And for small gaming, brilliant. I'm on the Iron Brew Extra, and that is a nod to my Scottish friends who not only survived the red warning but conquered the red warning. No, nothing wrong with a 2-2. Yeah, nothing wrong with a 2-2. I probably did a lot of my pest control over the years with a CZ 423, I think it was, a 22 LR with a moderator on. Brilliant bit of kit. Brilliant bit of kit. Hey, hey, Kitten, I got to give it to you guys up there. I love what I've seen so far. The Scottish attitude to a red warning for a storm is, aye, bring it on. Bring it on. Yes, we do keep it legal. UK law, rules, regulations. I obey the rules, laws, and regulations. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So, although I will attempt to give you advice, I will say to you, any advice that I've given in this video, check with your local rules and regulations and check them thoroughly. Protect yourselves. Winmag. Oh, yes. 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 And I don't mind discussing firearms on the channel, but we're going to do some videos on that. Yeah. So, and just for ball shows and everybody's interested, so UK air rifles are limited 12 foot-pounds in power, unless you can go above that, but then you must apply for a firearms license and have it on registered as a firearm. There's all sorts of rules, legalities, and that to it, but at the end of the day, it varies from country to country to country. I mean, the interesting thing we found the other day was that a slingshot like that is illegal in Australia. I wasn't aware that they were illegal in Australia, but they can't have that. So various rules and regulations change around the world. And again, as good people, we stick to our rules and our regulations and we apply them where we need to. But it doesn't stop us having an interest in other people's kit, equipment, and what they use and what they carry. And again, for the UK, I have no risky animals here. About the scariest thing I'm ever going to bump into here may be an angry squirrel. Right, catch you later, brother. Jess. Oh, I'm sorry, Jess. You've just joined us just as we're finishing off, my love. Literally, I did a pocket dump. So hopefully, if you want to go back through it and watch it through, I did a pocket dump. I literally took everything out, all the pockets of my smocks and jackets. And yeah, did a dump on it, went through it. Hopefully, hopefully I've created something interesting. I'm feeling a bit better. Jess, thank you very much. I had a bit of an issue. I had a bit of a fall downstairs. It sprained the muscle a little bit, but yeah, I'm working back from that. Yeah, cheers, Jess. Much appreciated. Right, guys. Oh, and I've got to point out that, guys, video worth watching at the moment. When you finish with this, if you've got a little bit of time, dive over, have a look at the Weird Bros latest video. Absolutely fantastic. Twigs, the star as always. Absolutely fantastic. Dive over there, have a look. It's brilliant video. Brilliant video. All right. So yeah, that's it from Mick. Have a great day. In fact, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Where's that sheath from, bud? Which sheath would you be asking about, Simon? That one? The bushcraft knife, the British Army survival knife. Just hit me back on that quick before we go. And I'll answer that for you quick before I dive out. No problem, TJ. No problem, TJ, at all. My pleasure. Thank you for joining me. I'm just waiting for Simon to let me know which knife, which sheath it was he wanted to know about, and I will give a very quick run through on that. I've got a funny feeling I know which one it's going to be, but I just want to double check. Jess, yes, you're in the red zone. Yes, but you're brave. You can do it. I'm swinging on Iron Brew for you guys. I'm just waiting for Simon to let me know which sheath he wanted me to go through quick. So before I finish off, I can answer that one for him. Yeah, get home safe, Jess. Take care. You won't be stopped. I like that. I like that attitude. Yeah, no fear there. Righty ho. No, I think Simon might have gone. He might not be there. Right, so just a quick one for him, just in case he's watching this. That sheath there is a homemade sheath based on a Mora design from years ago. Yeah, stitched that out leather, made that one up. That one there is the standard British military issue frog sheath. Okay, the problem with that is it invariably comes left-handed, so it comes that way round. And what I did was I made a Kydex insert which allows me to make it a right-handed sheath. Okay, put the insert into it, and then all I've done is stitched a bit of elastic on there so it takes my ferro rod. Simple as that. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you the information you required, Simon. Other than that, guys, take care, stay safe, look after yourselves, have your adventures, get outdoors. Yeah, especially in this severe weather, wherever you are in the world, look after yourselves. Love those you do, forgive those you don't. And as always, may peace and light be upon you all. Till Sunday, take care, Mick. Take care, Mick. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves. Have fun. Be good. Mickey out.